on my second day here at Galle Fort. For sakes of transparency, things went in a slightly different direction yesterday. I did do some great footage, but I want to come back here today to recraft the intro to give you a sense on what you're going to expect in this video. And a lot of what you see on YouTube is really all done in the editing. So yes, I'm going to be in a different colored shirt and maybe in shorter pants, but I hope the essence of my video gives you a taste of what you can expect when you come here. So keep watching and you're in for a real treat, because I think this is a fantastic place to come and visit, and you're going to see a very unique dimension of history, but also a very unique and critical part of how certain spices made it to our tables all around the world. And Galle Fort is that particular location where a lot of this happened, and let's see what we have in store for you. That's very useful. That gives you what exactly is on this site and what you could observe when you do walk around this wonderful World Heritage Site. It also gives you appreciation of how developed this site was when it was first established, but also right now when it is still a functioning site for tourists as well as for a lot of administrative services. So I decided to stop in here at the Maritime Archaeology Museum here, and I got my little brochure here and a lovely map of the site. So like most things in Sri Lanka, anything that is done indoors, they don't allow you to film. So I'm just going to go to still photography at this point. So hopefully I could capture what the inside of this museum is like just through those pics. Well, that was actually quite interesting. They spent a lot of time talking about the Sri Lanka's maritime history and really got into their trading relations that went on long before, that most of the times in the Western world that they don't teach you about in history, in terms of their trading relationships with the Chinese and the Arabs that predated the Portuguese arrival here. I'm not sure if that's a pun, but it works really well.
This is a British emblem, you know?
British emblem?
Yeah, British emblem.
Okay.
One side lion, one side unicorn.
Right.
And, you know, British crown, they are hiding.
Yep.
Handle. And Dieu et mon droit is a French word, sir. It's a French word. Dieu et mon droit is a French word. It's a meaning, God and my rights.
Right. So the Black Fort is the Portuguese fort.
Yeah.
Okay.
Swat, we call Swat Fort. Black Fort meaning sometimes they are making weapon inside, so fire and wall come into black. So that's the reason we call to Black Fort.
This was under the Dutch? Or this was just current state?
This building making under the Dutch, that's right, but after now government using to inside the government office, like a port, like some schools inside, yeah.
Life finds a way.
Here, Black.
Quite something to be living on a World Heritage Site.
This is a Portuguese Black Fort, very special Portuguese first fort. The old fort 1580, the original built in Portuguese. First time Portuguese using gunpowder, underground 500 barrel stock. Very old.
Yeah, okay.
Huh.
Number one.
What is in there now?
Now the museum. This is a sentry box. The Portuguese, the very old, the one man.
Yeah.
So one soldier inside, stand in position with weapon.
Pretty hot.
This is a this one 1580 first time Portuguese use in commander house.
Okay. Commander's house.
Commander house. And Portuguese kitchen room, that one. This is a British governor living bungalow. Now using police department. The 1844 Sri Lankan first, second, all now second police station early.
Okay.
British governor bungalow. This is a very special building. Blacksmith workshop, production weapon parts manufacturing here. Charcoal used in production go steam out, smoke out chimney and hall. After environment dark because of the name Black Fort.
Right, yeah.
British came, start police department, changed to jail. Other side room asala, jungle beach. New Harbour Goal and Old Harbour other side. Come. First Bastion Portuguese. With cannons 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cannon. Portuguese first time the land in place.
Huh.
First Bastion. Other side, left side, the Old Harbour. Behind Dutch warehouse, yellow building. Spicy stock, early. Transport center, Old Harbour. The old jetty. Very old commander house Portuguese. 1580 building, yeah, commander house. That one, British governor living bungalow.
Yes.
Now is in police department. Commander house to harbour, old harbour, entrance and exit tunnel. Very safety. Portuguese, not tall, madam.
I'm
The
okay.
ventilation, wall, the cooling.
Okay.
Tunnel lock, gate, the emergency lock. Early manual operator, to change by using the manual. You just close it.
That's impressive. That it
This is a
works.
sub-tunnel. This is a escape tunnel.
Okay.
All gate not used, direct exit the whole city early. 1.5 kilometers open early. Now is closing damage. First time, first exit harbour, old harbour. Second go to old city.
Oh,
1.5 kilometers.
long.
Yeah.
1.5 kilometers.
First time, madam, all gate only. Two gate, the British period open. First time, all gate only. Entrance and exit, gold port. This one, all gate not used, direct exit.
Okay.
Escape. Yeah. First Bastion, first Bastion, first rampart, first harbour.
Yes.
All area. Coral, clay, rock only material you see.
Yeah, I've seen coral in there.
With cannons, 8 cannons. The replicas are original in the museum. Very safety, madam. Safety wall. Old harbour behind the warehouse.
Right.
Dutch harbour behind Dutch warehouse. Spicy wood, cloth, wine, beer, the stock early.
Right.
Transport center, first time Portuguese. in Dutch, British.
They each built their own jetty.
Yeah, all jet. Now, Colombo and Galle, new city,
Right.
new harbour other side.
After the Black Fort, we're going to go and check out the Dutch hospital now. And of course, the Dutch hospital is now a shopping district. Very much like in Colombo. And you can get mud crab okonomiyaki here. It's quite intriguing to see a World Heritage Site as a working site for tourism, but also as an administrative center for local government, but also seems to be a part of a military installation here where they do training and also oversight. Feeling a little hot and sweaty, so I'm going to get myself a coconut. There we go. All right. Time for a cool, refreshing coconut. Very good. There's nothing more refreshing than coconut, especially in a hot country. I took a little break from the group because I was really hungry. And for those of you who have followed me along, I do intermittent fasting. And that means I really don't have a lot for breakfast. And we end up taking a few little diversions along the way. And I got really hungry, so I needed to eat. And that meant that I'm now on my own. So let's see what else this beautiful Galle Fort has in store for us. Managed to have a mosque in here. So let's go through the old town here and see what that looks like. A lot of very cool colonial buildings from the Dutch era have stayed in place. And in some odd way, this does remind me a little bit of a more colonial style version of Lamu. Lots of little alleyways down here. Very neat area. Lots of little art galleries here. Some very cool, funky art. And you could easily enjoy a shisha here too. There's a main intersection here. This looks like the main street. And that's where I just came from. I'm gonna explore down here. I don't think you'd ever encounter a more historic, cool, and funky coffee shop. And this is the commercial bank of Ceylon, and this is the one that is the first one in Sri Lanka. What a beautiful building. And back to its Catholic heritage. a church here. An Anglican church, that is. Let's go and check out one of these alleyways. Hey there. Just to give you an idea of what it must have been like for the residents of this fort back in the day. It's very nice. And actually surprisingly very cool and well designed for the climate. I gotta say, this has been totally unexpected. I didn't think that they would convert a fort into a working town site. It's lovely. Every time I watch cricket and they always refer to the fort, they said it was a very lovely area for socializing. I specifically remember Ian Bishy raving about this whole site, and I've always been curious about it. And curiosity satisfied and curiosity expectations were far exceeded. I will say that if you are good about avoiding the hard sell and getting roped in by any of the guides and them looking after all of their buddies and do a bit of independent work and a bit of research, it's a lovely place to visit. Really charming, it's chill, and gives you a lovely snapshot of what it must have been like just navigating these streets back in the 1600s. One thing I would also say, it's a lot less violent than it may have been in the 1600s. It was a working fort anyhow, so they were busy defending the spice trade, and the Dutch became busy defending the country after. Let's go and check out the flat rock bastion here. It's quite the amazing view from here. Back to another one of those bastions. Bastions were largely used for putting the cannons and also observation points. And that's looking back towards Galle City that way. It's fun to see how everything has been repurposed, and just the lovely vibe here. Obviously it's very touristy, but it's a lovely place to witness how the buildings have been repurposed for the tourism sector here, but also how it's created a neighborhood vibe where you come and hang out, and there's a lot of locals, and that's lovely to see as well. Let's take a duck in here. Love the artwork outside. Wow. What a cool, funky space. A coffee shop in the back there. Every city deserves its funky neighborhood. And it's really nice to discover this in Galle. I would totally take this home. I should record that chat. There's another gentleman, Tommy Clausen, and he used to be in the hotel business. And during the pandemic, he quit that, and now he started to take pictures of the walls here and made them into posters, and he's had a whole new career. Kind of like me doing this YouTube channel. It's funny, isn't it? Change is good. What a pretty mailbox. And a Methodist church here, right here on the fort site. I was chatting with the historian, and he said that large areas of the community are being rebuilt. So some of the original plaster is being removed and being updated. So look at it carefully. You can see elements of the old facade in there, but everything has been updated pretty much since colonial times, obviously. But they are intent on gentrifying or revitalizing this area specifically for tourism. But it's tastefully done, which is really nice to see. There's a lot of these places around the world, and you go there and it becomes a complete tourist trap. I would warn everybody though that there's adequate number of people here who are quite happy to guide you to their stores and obviously get their commission. So keep that in mind when you are walking around this neighborhood here. It is quite a treat. I think one of the more intriguing things about this fort site is how many people actually live here. There's a lot of private property here. That was one of the main entrances into the fort, right over here. We came through one earlier in the video. Like any military service, they have themselves set up with tennis courts, and there's obviously the officers club over here. And over we have signs in English, Chinese, Mandarin obviously, and Russian. The Pektopa, which is a restaurant. I did do a short stint where I got a chance to work in 2 Russian cities about in the early part of the aughts, 2003, 2004. I got to work in Smolensk and Moscow. And it's quite amazing how the southern part of Sri Lanka on the south coast has a very strong presence of Russian tourists. One of the interesting things you'll find on the Galle Fort site is a hotel called Amangala, which is behind me. And I'm going to confess something. As I said, I'm a Duran fanboy. And I'm going to do a little bit of video here to show you where they filmed parts of their video for Save a Prayer and also Hungry Like the Wolf. And this is where they filmed some of their famous scenes. I can't emphasize how iconic those videos were. They really created a strong impression of what Sri Lanka had to offer for me. And it is beautiful. Duran video. I didn't notice this yesterday, but there is also a gas station on the site. Here is Galle Library, 1832. And they say, welcome to the oldest library in Sri Lanka. Very cool. It's right next to the Dutch Reform Church. Anyhow, I'm gonna go and take in a bit of sunset here to wrap up this walking tour of the fort area here in Galle. I want to take you through this last stretch here where they have a few more of these bastions. Right over here, just looking down, you can see how they had a nice drainage channel there. That was original. And they have a ammunition bunker down there. This site has all sorts of tunnels that were used by the Dutch to go into town, and some of them are very long, which is quite incredible as well. So let's go up here, get a view from this bastion here, to give you a sense on how they occupied this area so they could keep view for potential intruders. And you can see in the distance the multiple bastions here that we use as fortification. These are the original walls. Obviously they've been maintained and changed a bit over the years, but you can see why this fort was of such great strategic importance. First with the Black Fort for the Portuguese, which is early in this video, and then for the Dutch. It's also a reminder of how these countries got colonized and how European colonial powers profited from these countries for years. It's a very important thing to remember. But also that there was a very rich culture in place already here in Sri Lanka. And I will say that thanks to the Portuguese, as I learned earlier, that cinnamon would not have been the thing it was if it wasn't for them. So in some regard, colonial powers did contribute to helping Sri Lanka realize a little bit more of where its future may lay. We should also acknowledge that part of that colonial heritage has also transferred onto modern times now, where we could appreciate where some of the economic and political difficulties of the country is going through. We should not neglect that fact. What a great view. This is the Aeolus Bastion, named after the Greek god for wind. We're going to go up to the Star Bastion right now. But first we got to check out the World Heritage Site designation. As you've seen throughout this video, I've put a lot of these facts of the history of this place. It's a fantastic way for me to really enjoy this unique site. And this is a yard dual ground here. And this is the sentry point for the gunpowder magazine. Let's go up on the wall. There's really quite a lot to this site, and it's well worth dedicating a minimum of 3 hours to go exploring, but really just enjoy the vibe of the town. I use World Heritage sites as a gauge to see if there's something interesting there. Always, you're going to be guaranteed to see something special. May not be to your taste, but it is something truly unique, and there's a lot of work that goes into it. And Galle Fort is definitely in that category of very unique and oddly fun, because you understand that it is a working area for a lot of administrative services, but it's also been turned into a tourist area, and it is a working World Heritage Site, so to say. You know, there's a high degree of preservation, but it's more about the entire site and what it was about, because it is on this little peninsula here in Galle, and you can see how it was of strategic importance and why it was fortified the way it was. And they have the camera on from the pavilion end. This is your backdrop, and you can see the circular road on all the cricket broadcasts. It's amazing to see how these walls, the fortified walls here, are just so beautiful. It was such a motivating thing for me to be here to witness what I've seen on TV numerous times come to life, and to witness the sheer spectacle of what Galle Fort has to offer. And with the sun setting off in the distance, while I may not have made my cricket debut here, I at least played an innings here at Galle Fort, and I hope you enjoyed it. And, whoa, check out that lizard. I had no idea. You're a big guy. I'm signing off here from Galle Fort. Thanks again for watching. I truly appreciate the time that you spent with me. I hope that you have been enjoying my experiencing Sri Lanka with me. And stay tuned for some more footage as I head back to Colombo at the stretch and have a few things in store there. It's been fun being here, learning a little bit more about Sri Lankan's history and learning about how the spice trade really helped us all taste the world just a little bit better. Peace, guys.